Hello everybody, this is Storyboard Ed. I recently got to see Spider-Man Far From Home. And this is kind of a review, kind of summary of my experience. I saw the film opening day. There were some technical difficulties that rendered the screen red. And then then it popped up to like a computer screen kind of thing where it says, "Please restart the computer." And I was just thinking to myself, oh. That's not good. And then that lasted for about 30 minutes. And then the film started. And the main film played through good. But at the very end, the post-credit sequence, I'd love to be able to talk about it, but all I could see was the footage. But the audio was completely missing when they finally got us the film to see. I mean, when we finally got to see the film. We actually had to change theaters. We were in theater 7, and that's where the issue was. So we had to be moved over to theater number 3. And then, the main film played good. It's just the post-credit sequence, not too great. But yeah, those are my real complaints on technical difficulties. But that's about it. Then I want to just talk about the 5 main things that I learned from watching the movie. That I really got from watching the movie. Number 1 is 5 years have passed since the Infinity War event, so people who turned into dust returned the same age. But those who didn't turn to dust, they aged 5 years. So I thought that was an interesting premise. There's a scene in the film where a guy talked about like how he had a younger brother. But when he turned to dust and then like came back 5 years later, he now had an older brother. I thought that was an interesting premise. Number 2, in memoriam, Black Widow, Captain America, and Tony Stark. Number 3, Jake Gyllenhaal's character is a villain with no superpowers. It starts out the film seeming like he's a good guy with superpowers, and then you just learn that it is all just an elaborate hoax. And I just thought that was interesting. Number 4, MJ and Peter are a couple, and so are Peter's aunt and Happy, who is Tony Stark's assistant. I find that interesting. And number 5, the third film, will probably focus on Peter Parker's secret being revealed, because in the post-credit sequence, they have Jake Gyllenhaal's character revealing to everybody who Spider-Man is, and then and the last thing I wanted to mention was that there was no Stan Lee cameo. I didn't notice any.